Hey, I know somebody's been praying, somebody's been hoping, and somebody's been waiting. There's several prayers that's sent up on a daily basis. There's several prayers that we want answered immediately. There's several times in situations you are praying and you are not getting the results that you want immediately. But the Father is not a God of instant gratification. I'll tell you why. I was reading the scripture in Ecclesiastes 3:1, and I realized that the Father spoke to me through this scripture. And it says there is an occasion for everything. And this last part right here rocked me. And a time for every activity under heaven. Now, it didn't say your timing or my timing or worldly ways. It says every activity under heaven. Reading that scripture kind of put things into a different perspective for me. I know I've been asking, I've been praying, I've been waiting. And during that waiting period, I think the Lord is doing something to me. There might be immaturity that needs to be snuffed out. There may be growth that needs to be had. And of course, I know that's one of the reasons. There's weight right there. Relationship. He wants to have a deeper relationship with me. But most of all, I think it's growth. In order for me to be that person in the kingdom, to help his kingdom, I think there's time, that gap in between, to help me grow. Let's use the story of Joseph. If Joseph had those visions as a child, as a kid, a young adult, whatever age he was, if everything came to pass where he was over all the food supplies and stuff immediately, I don't think things would have went as smooth as it did. But Joseph had to go through a period of transitioning, meaning that he moved from the arrogant behavior of, hey, you guys will be bowing to me, to humbly having to deal with his siblings and deal with people in general. But throughout that period of wait, he was tested. And in that test, he was successful. And remember, he was granted favor in everything that he did because he spent that time. So sometimes we want this instant gratification or the instant results from our obedience. And Lord, don't let me start on the obedience part. Obedience is a huge thing, man, that a lot of us are failing drastically. That's including me. Now, when I'm speaking from my perspective in reference to Christianity and myself, is that we fail so much on a regular basis, but we want the Lord to answer us immediately. You want him to show up immediately. But this is what the scripture says in Ecclesiastes 3:1. There's a time for every activity under heaven. Not your timing. It's God's timing, and his timing is perfect. I know in the moment and in the situation, we feel like it is so taxing. It is so draining. And it feels like it's not going to ever end. But in that time, I think we're growing. We just need to dig deeper and have that intimate relationship with him. And as I say this to you, I know I feel the same way you do. Like, Lord, I want it to happen now. But if it did happen now, am I able to deal with that? Am I able to process what I'm asking for? Am I able to be a good steward if it is a financial? Am I willing to share my testimony if I got healed immediately without any type of transformation? You know, we experience things as a person, but as we experience these things, we save them for ourselves. We do not share our testimony with the kingdom. We do not show people, the world, of how good God is. Now, I didn't say you. Now, Dr. Bob or Dr. whomever might did some of the work, but the Lord blessed his hands. But now that you're healed, why are we not sharing the testimony? Now the Lord has restored all your finances that was taken from you, and you didn't do it because you wanted to be blessed. You did it out of obedience. And that's what brought up the obedience earlier. We need to be obedient. In order for growth to happen, we need to spend that time. And guys, please understand, as I speak this to you, I'm convicted daily about this. And you should be too. Because the scripture says that we should die to flesh, not once, daily. We should die to flesh daily. And my prayer, my cry the other day was, the Lord, pour me out and pour you in. Because if you have a clean cup of water and you put one speck of dirt into that cup of water, it becomes undrinkable. It is contaminated. But sometimes we still drink that filthy cup, knowing it is contaminated.